Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Febby Febiyola, and here I would like to present an article entitled is The Effect of Web-Based Language Learning Activities on Reading Comprehension in the EFL Classroom. This presentation will explain the background, research method, findings, and conclusion of the study. Okay, now let's begin with the background. Okay, the background of this article is reading is one of the most important English skill because it helps students understand information from written text. However, many EFL students still have difficulties understanding English reading materials. Therefore, teachers need effective learning methods to improve students' reading comprehension. And one of these methods is web-based language learning, which uses online platform to support English learning. Okay, now let's look at the research problem. Okay, the research problem is this study focuses on two research questions. Number one is whether web-based language learning can improve students' reading comprehension, and the second is how students respond to learning through web-based activities. Now let's continue with the research objective. The objectives of this study are to investigate the effect of web-based language learning on students' reading comprehension and to identify students' engagement and opinions toward these learning activities. And the research also wants to know whether this learning method could create a better learning experience. Let's see the significance of the study. Significance of the study. This research provides benefits for several groups, and for students it helps improve reading comprehension and learning motivation, and for teacher it offers an alternative teaching strategy using technology. It is also useful for researchers and educational institutions as a reference for future studies and digital learning development. Now, let's move on to the literature review. Okay, reading comprehension is the ability to understand and interpret written text. Students not only read the words but also identify the main ideas, find important information, draw conclusion, and evaluate the content of a text. These skills are essential for useful English learning. Okay, the next is discuss web-based language learning. Web-based language learning, or WBLL, is learning English through internet-based platforms such as Edmodo, Zoom, YouTube, and Kahoot. These platforms make learning more flexible, interactive, and accessible because students can learn anytime and anywhere. They also encourage students to participate actively in the learning process. Okay, now let's look at the conceptual framework. The conceptual framework explains the relationship between the variables in this study. Students who have low reading comprehension are given web-based language learning activities. As a result, their reading comprehension is expected to improve along with their engagement and participation during learning. And after understanding the theory, let's continue with the research method. Research use a mixed method research design, combining quantitative and qualitative approaches. This design allows the researchers to collect both numerical data and students' opinion, providing a more complete understanding of the result. And now let's see the participant. The participants were English education students from the extensive reading class at Universitas Pancasakti Tegal, and these students became the subjects of the research during the implementation of web-based language learning activities. The next slide is research procedure. The research began with a preparation stage followed by a pre-test. After that, students participate in web-based language learning activities, and finally, they complete a post-test and a questionnaire before the researchers analyze the data. And the next slide is instrument. The researchers used several instruments to collect the data. These include reading comprehension tests, observation, questionnaires, and interview. Each instrument helped the researchers evaluate students' learning outcome and responses. Okay, now let's continue with the VBLL activities. During the study, students use several online platforms including Zoom, YouTube, Kahoot, online dictionaries, and Google Drive. And these platforms supported different learning activities and made learning more interactive. Next, let's look at the learning activities. Students participate in various learning activities such as reading online stories, storytelling, group discussion, book reviews, film reviews, and online presentation. These activities encourage students to practice reading while actively participating in class. Let's move to the finding of the study. Okay, the result shows that students' reading comprehension improve after participating in web-based language learning. The average pre-test score increased from 55.9 to 65.2 in the post-test, and this indicates that PBLL had a positive effect on students' reading achievement. Let's see the students' responses. Most students gave positive responses to web-based language learning. They found the activities interesting, helpful, easy to access, and motivating. And many students also hope that similar activities would continue in future English classes. And now, let's discuss these findings. This study suggests that web-based language learning is effective because it makes learning more interactive and provides access to many online research. It also encourages students to become more active, independent, and engaged during the learning process. Finally, let's move on to the conclusion and recommendation. In conclusion, web-based language learning successfully improves students' reading comprehension. It also increased students' motivation and created a more positive learning experience. And these findings shows that technology can effectively support English learning. Next, let's look at the recommendation. Based on the findings, teachers are encouraged to integrate more web-based learning into their teaching. Students should make better use of online learning resources to improve their English skills. And in addition, universities are expected to continue improving ICT facilities to support digital learning. For my presentation about the effect of web-based learning language learning activities on reading comprehension in the AFL classroom. Thank you very much. Thank you for attention, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.